I'm in Crieff in Scotland. In true YouTube style, I've got electrical tape around both my drones to show you the difference between the Mini 3 Pro and the DJI Mini 4 Pro. Now, I did a lot more comparisons about those two drones in a previous video. Today I'm going to talk about other things about the drone as well. I'm quite nervous for trying this. I will show you some image quality comparison. A couple of little issues I've seen with the Mini 4 Pro. I love it, it's a great drone, but there are a couple of things worth mentioning. I'll also address people that have never bought a drone before. Should you go out and get this? Is this the best option? In the UK, we probably have about 2 years in which we can continue to enjoy our freedoms using the sub 250 gram drones. You can either view that as a reason not to buy the drone, or a reason that we've only got so long left. Do you see your glass as half full, half empty? I mean, it's crazy. Some of you guys might have been on the journey with me a month ago when I shot at Sycamore Gap. Some idiots took a chainsaw to that beautiful tree. Just like that, it's gone. And that is something that you can kind of make an analogy with drone regulations and how 2 years' time we might have our freedoms taken away. And there might be locations that you want to go to and you want the best drone that you can in the sub 250 gram range. So instead of aiming our rifles, we can line up the drones there in the sights. Look at that. That's central there. What do you guys think about the colour science with these drones? There's certainly more of a greenish look to the Mini 3 Pro. Part of me quite likes that, you know. Part of me likes the sort of crime documentary look. More distinctive colours on the Mini 4 Pro. Overall, I prefer the Mini 4 Pro. With the more distinctive colours, you can, and better contrast as well on the Mini 4 Pro. There is better contrast. You really don't need to do that much with D-Log M. You really don't need to do that much. I think it's more about the saturation and your preference. And I do generally desaturate my greens quite a lot and boost the blues a little bit. Actually, in terms of a beginner, you will get shots looking pretty good pretty quickly with this drone. I really enjoy actually sometimes when people give me useful information in the comments. Graham mentioned to me that something about these dome replacements for the thumb screws, so I will try those out. So thanks, Graham, for that suggestion. He says they're easier to apply and also just give you greater control. So at the moment I'm kind of going back and forth between sometimes taking the thumb screw off to get these smooth shots and sometimes having it on. Just doing some quick photo comparisons. My channel is about drone filmmaking, but I need to look at them on a bigger screen, of course. The omnidirectional obstacle avoidance is one of the strongest upgrades from this. Now, I wouldn't rely only on obstacle avoidance because electrical wires, I strongly doubt they're going to be picked up with these. I'm quite nervous for trying this. Okay, so give it a bit of a runway, see what happens. And we'll just go straight to the right. It just goes around. I'm sending it as like quite a relative distance here. Ooh, it's still, whoa! Okay, it did clip a branch then. Testing this out, don't do this for yourself. I did hear the propellers clip a branch. The obstacle avoidance, the sideways obstacle avoidance, very, very good, but don't do what I just did, which is just drag it along in normal to the side, because it was very, very close to being taken down then. So wreck the area as well, and there is always the risk of bird attack as well. Birds are coming, birds are after my drone. I don't think that's going to save you, the obstacle avoidance from bird attack. I don't know, maybe it would do something, it might dart away, depends on the speed at which the bird attacks your drone. I've been actually quite lucky, I haven't had a fatal bird attack, but I have heard some of you guys in the comments mention them. Amazing, the Mini 3 Pro, it's lasted me a whole year without having to write it off, so that shows how good these drones are now. Ocean Colour Scene, in I think it was '98, they did a gig at Stirling Castle. There's a lot of nonsense out there, isn't there? And I think we can look at Ocean Colour Scene, and they were about the music, and you can be about the video production. Yeah, one of the great things about this drone is because it is so quiet. When someone walks past with their dog, you know, they do think you're a bit of a nutcase, but it's not as bad as what it used to be with, say, the Mavic Air Original, and then you really do feel like you're ruining someone's peaceful walk. I had a comment from last week's video which made me laugh. Frank in Blackpool, the other half has banned me from buying any more flyaway toys. These ones are better now, mate. DJI Mini. There are things you can do. Get it from the camera store. Don't buy it from Amazon. As soon as that doorbell goes, ears prick up. Then you've got to establish your partner's visual line of sight. Once you enter the door, now reckon an area, do you know what I mean? Make sure she's watching a favourite programme. You can go low. If you want dramatic effect, you can maybe just do a bit of a forward roll. First firmware update, first few weeks in fact, you might have to update your drone in the bathroom. Just run the shower in case you get that sexy DJI voice with the woman. I've had a few comments about the batteries. The Mini 3 Pro batteries do work, but they push it over the 250 grams. Before I was at a spot where the sub 250 gram ruling didn't matter so much. So you can fly your battery there, the battery worked fine. Save your batteries for when you're in a city area. Generally finding between 26 to 30 minutes battery use. With both drones, it just depends on how quickly you're flying, how windy it is, these conditions. And I think that's something to remember with the Mini 4 Pro is we probably would have expected better battery performance. When you think about the speculation videos 6 months to a year ago, it's like when a new iPhone's released, you generally expect improved battery performance. Now overall, I'm very happy with the Mini 4 Pro. I think it is a fantastic drone, and if there's one thing I care about, it's the video quality. It's worth considering though, guys, you know, with all the hype, with everything, like we've got the same battery life, we've also got the same wind resistance as the Mini 3 Pro, and people will care about that, particularly with when you see these shots and there's a little bit of a wobble effect, you know, that's I did expect when you come from the Mini 2 to the Mini 3 Pro, there was significant improvement in terms of that, whereas we've not got that. I think the Mini 4 Pro, it's almost like the Mini 3 Pro S, you know, it's a video quality and features upgrade. It's not an overall upgrade of the drone, and like with many tech things, you get diminishing returns. So the longer a product's been out for, the improvement isn't as significant. It still is a nice upgrade, but it's not astronomical. Mini 1 to the Mini 2 drone was ridiculous upgrade. Mini 2 to the Mini 3 Pro, nice, really good upgrade. Mini 3 Pro to the Mini 4 Pro, I think it's an upgrade a lot of professionals will like, and a lot of people that like the features will like, but for some people they're not going to notice so much. I have really been enjoying the RC2 in my first couple of weeks with the DJI Mini 4 Pro. There is one slight issue with this though in terms of screen recording. So at the moment you have to record internally your screen recordings onto this, and then afterwards switch it across to the SD card. So it's a little bit of a nuisance, a little bit of an extra step. But overall, fantastic. The transmission feed you get is smooth as, you know, I've always found the RCN one to be like my trusty old companion. I found this to be a little bit smoother, and I've used this in high interference areas and cities, and it's been really good. So I am a convert. Always remember to get a screen protector for this though, guys, because it's not worth risking, you know, just in case it gets a little knock on the way. I've always thought with the Mini 3 Pro that this is a drone for everyone. Professional videographers can throw it in the bag and it's not going to use up much space when they've got their cameras, their lighting, their tripods. I've seen beginners go out with this and only own the drone for 6 months and actually take some really good shots with it. My only slight reluctance to recommend this drone is if you've never flown a drone before in your life. Now, let's say you've been a photographer, because you know what it takes to get to one spot to another. You know what it takes to set up early in the morning for sunset, sunrise. I think you should get the Mini 4 Pro. If you've never flown a drone before and you've also got a track record of, tonight Matthew, I'm going to go to karate school. Tonight Matthew, I'm going to buy an Xbox. Then get a Mini 2. If you've got a history of impulse purchases, just get yourselves a Mini 2. That drone has already lost its value. This drone hasn't. So you need to find out, is drone right for you? And those of you guys still in favour of the RCN 1 or RCN 2, there are still pros and cons for both. I've just got on this authorisation zone. So if I had my Mini 3 Pro and I was using my phone, I was about to get some shots of this Abbey, I would have been able to unlock that Whereas using the RC2, you've got this Army Centre authorisation zone. So this is actually quite a good point. I'm using the spotlight mode. It's so incredible for doing these shots when you can just smoothly tilt takes care of the gimbal work for you. I've got my finger off the gimbal wheel. I'm getting these really nice, smooth cinematic motions, and this is in normal mode as well. The drone is bobbling around though, so I don't know how smooth that shot is going to be when I look in editing afterwards. I love the DJI Mini 4 Pro. But I also do understand that a lot of people are getting slightly disillusioned in 2023 with tech products. My only criticism really, and my only major criticism, is the kind of more the structure of how DJI are releasing drones. Now, I'm not an Apple fanboy, I own the iPhone 13 Pro, but Apple do have a really good trade-in service, which if DJI were to offer that at a fair price, they used to have a trade-in service for customers, it wasn't a fair price. If they were able to do that, I think they would sell more drones, and it would be easier for us as consumers to purchase a new one, because that is really the problem, isn't it? When you've been a loyal customer to DJI, you've bought the DJI Mini 3 Pro, you've got to package your drone up, you've got to sell it on eBay, you know, take photographs. It's a real nuisance, and I can 100% understand why a lot of people will just stick with the drone that they've got. And we tend to always think about what the new thing is rather than what is already existing. You know, have you maxed out on your other capabilities? It's not even talking about story and, you know, character development. There's all these different things that go into video production. I don't want to be that guy that's always like tech isn't important, because it is, and I do actually appreciate DJI. And remember guys, they're not the enemies. You know, auditing channels, they're the ones that are potentially going to lose our benefits. I was talking a little bit about it on last week's video. One thing I didn't mention is the most important thing we can do with auditing channels is to stop watching them and tell our friends to stop watching them. It's a cheap form of entertainment. It's a little bit like Big Brother, but remember with this, those security guards, you know, they might not be the best paid. They're not asking to be made social media famous. They're having that forced upon them. I think they're almost like a wolf in sheep's clothing, because they pretend to be for the people. I even heard one auditor say that, when actually they're going to take away the rights of the people with the sub 250 gram ruling. There's a lot of nonsense, isn't there, on social media now. Just a little bit of nostalgia sometimes helps me get things into context and get that, you know, you can worry about TikTok and all these silly things going around. I went to a comic book store the other day in Callander, and Callander's this really quaint town in Scotland, and you're expecting to be tea shops and gift shops and pubs and restaurants, and then there was this really cool little comic book store. So I went in there, had a chat with the owner, and it was just very, very therapeutic to, you know, just remember when life was fun, when we didn't have when not everyone in the world was trying to be TikTok famous and everything. Recommend you guys always pop into your local stores whenever you go past, and just it'll be good for you. It'll cleanse your soul. You're seeing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the old comics.
Won't be long.
And what about you guys that are single? Should you go and buy the DJI Mini 4 Pro? Will it impress the ladies? What's important to remember though, guys, is the tall, dark and handsome stereotype. That was 2022. 2023, sapiosexual is now in. Finding intelligence attractive. So whenever our friends tell us to give a girl a compliment, they're wrong. What you need to do is demonstrate technical knowledge, technical drone knowledge. So I like to go up to a girl in a bar or club and talk about the latest firmware update, or even better, waypoint missions. Quick pixel peep test to finish off today's video. Again, this is very good to impress the ladies with. We'll go back to the driving range that we were at before, just to show you cropped in. There's some noise on the Mini 4 Pro as well, but there is more on the Mini 3 Pro. So if you really like cropping in, getting the magnifying glasses out, although for video noise this is actually quite important for things like submitting to Shutterstock. They do reject your footage if there is video noise. Still got to test out waypoints and cruise control. Got some creative ideas to do with that, so stick around, smash the like button, subscribe, and you can check out that future content. I've even started to enjoy this little bag a little bit more from DJI. I still think it looks a little bit like a man bag. British weather, eh? I bet you digital nomads out in Bali will be laughing at me, won't you? Sat in your hammocks, creating content. What am I doing?